Okay. Now, to use this analog multimeter, okay, you have to select the range. Let me start with resistance measurement. As we told you before, for resistance measurement, you have to start with something bigger value if you don't know the range. Okay, so start with the bigger value. If you see, the scale is the one on top. Scale ni ada banyak. There's DC voltage, AC voltage, VA. VA means for voltage and ampere, and then the one on top is ohm. Okay, you see the one that is in the curve is the highest one is the ohm scale. Right. So before before you measure your component, first you have to set your range. Okay, using your dial selection, set your range. But before you measure, you have to calibrate. If not, your measurement will be incorrect. How to calibrate? You see, when I touch this, meaning it's 0 ohm. Correct. But if you see the meter doesn't show 0. Okay, so what do? You have to calibrate, you have to set to 0. So that confirms this is 0 ohm. Why? Because when you touch, it should be no resistance. Okay, so every time you change the range, okay, let's say you change lower range, you see 0 ohm is not there, the needle is not showing 0. So you have, if you measure, if it's 1 ohm, if like right now it's showing 2, then meaning you are measuring 3 ohm instead of 1 ohm resistance. Okay, so every time you change the range, you have to calibrate. Set to 0 every time. For ohm meter measurement only. Ohm only, voltage and current not an issue. For ohm range measurement only. Because why? Because 0 it starts from the right. For current and voltage, 0 start from the left. If you notice, 0 volts. For ohms, 0 starts from the right. Meaning when you short circuit, it will show 0. So every time you change the range, nampak? You can see if times 1 is already different. It's no longer showing 0. Okay? See? When I go back to times 100, times 1K, after using times 10, it's no longer the same. So meaning every time you change the range, you have to recalibrate. And then when you doing the calibration, make sure you look at it straight, 90 degrees. Avoid parallax error. Okay? Right. So that's for resistance measurement. Meaning every time you make measurements, you change the range, you have to make sure 0 ohms is there. Okay? 0 ohm shows exactly 0 ohm. If not, your measurement will be incorrect. Okay, that's for resistance. For voltage measurement, how to read the scale? If you see there's a 1000, 250, 50, 10, right? Of course, our voltage doesn't exceed 50 volts, so you can use the maximum is 50 volt. Instead of 250 and 1000, you won't see much range changes in the range. So for 50 range 50, how do you read the value? If you see, the scale shows 0 to 250, 0 to 50, 0 to 10. Okay, so now I'm in, my dial selection is at 50. Which scale you are looking at? 50, meaning maximum voltage should be 50. Okay. If the needle goes to, let's say you look at the ohm range, you see number 30. Ohm range number 30. Okay. So what if now the range is 50, what is the voltage reading? 20. Okay, is everyone getting the same? If you get 20, then you understand lah. If not, you don't really quite understand. Huh? Now the range dial is 50. You have to look at the scale 50. So kalau jarum tu berada, the needle is showing number 30 dekat ohm punya range tu, nombor 30. Meaning bacaan dia berapa? 20 apa? Volt. If you use lower range, 10 for example, needle showing the same point, what is the reading? 4. If you use lower range, 2.5, so at the needle at the same position, what is the reading?
2.5.
Hmm? What will be the reading?
0.2.
Negative.
No?
Negative.
2.5, meaning maximum range is 2.5. So you refer to the scale 250. So at that needle point shows what?
100. So 1 lah. 1 volt.
1.0. 1 volt. Okay.